Pitching's been the key so far this year, and you just continue to get good starts, and you know when you got your starter go out there and throw you up 5-0, it makes the game a little easier.
It was big because they pitched well, you know, and I knew they had some talented arms they hadn't thrown yet. You knew they were going to fight. I mean, they were going to try to get that game, and they had a chance. You know, their pitching and defense kept them in it. Offensively, we were one at bat away, you know, per inning. We weren't that far off. But couldn't get the 2-out hit. The one inning had the bases loaded there, and we couldn't score. But if you pitch and defend, you got a chance. And our pitching and defense has been very solid.
You definitely did leave some guys on base there, but you know, late in the game, came up with some really clutch hits. Jake with a big one. You get hot with the one, and then you get the sac fly from Davis. I mean, you know, the guys came through kind of late and were able to kind of extend the lead out and kind of get this one across the finish line.
We do. I mean, we take a lot of pride in those last 3 innings. We feel like we're physically and mentally prepared to play good baseball. And we seem to respond sometimes when we get knocked down. We seem to bounce right back, and they definitely had some momentum, and they threatened, and we were able to answer it. But again, it starts on the mound and the defense behind, and, you know, putting up the zeros that Peter Michael did. Another great start, and then, you know, Cuts and Wyatt keeps getting better. The more he gets to run out there in situations, and now get the last 3 outs of a game and come in with a runner on base. So it's fun seeing Wyatt grow because he's missed so much time the past couple years, but the talent's there, and he's starting to get comfortable out there.
We've talked a little bit the last couple weeks about, you know, riding the hot hand and continuing to run guys out there when they prove it, and you just mentioned Wyatt, and yeah, I mean, obviously a kid that you feel very comfortable with no matter what the situation is right now.
No doubt, he's good, and again, I feel good because even if they get a rally, we got Tucker Biven ready to go, and even though Tucker hasn't been his best, I trust him with the baseball, especially late in the game. So it's a good feeling because they're close to putting up a rally, and we got Tucker down in the bullpen, and we're going to need him, obviously. And we got a big week coming up, 5 games this week, which leads into our first ACC weekend. So just learn and grow areas for coaching that we need to get better. But overall, we're playing good baseball.
As you do head into these, you know, 2 midweek games on back-to-back days, you know, likely to be staff days and really use a lot of arms, you would think, to kind of keep some guys, you know, fresher and ready to go for the weekend?
No doubt. I mean, it's an opportunity, and if you're a pitcher and you're in this program, you're talented enough, you got to trust your stuff. You got to run out there and compete. And what you've seen the first month of the season from guys like Forbes, Parker, you know, Peter, Cuts, you know, you got to be aggressive in the strike zone. So trust your stuff. You don't have to be perfect. You can give up some runs. We got a good offense. We got a good team. So I'm looking forward. 18 innings in the midweek. First time for us this year, and looks like the weather's going to be nice. And as much as we're looking forward to the first ACC weekend, especially at home, man, we got a big 2-game set this midweek.
What are some of the, you know, with these last 2 games, you know, before ACC play starts, what would be like something or a couple different things that you'd really like to see the team improve on, and just to kind of sharpen up before ACC play starts?
Well, the game doesn't change. It's pitching and defense, and then, you know, our version of being offensive. So I'm anxious for the pitchers. Like, guys are going to throw, young guys are going to throw, guys that don't have a ton of innings, you're going to get a chance to run out there. You got to be able to play defense behind them. We've shown our catching depth, and we've rotated our catchers. And we'll look at the lineup, and we'll try to keep guys going. I mean, we really had, you saw some new faces in the lineup today, and making out the lineup, and, you know, sitting a Pike. And obviously, Early's been really good, and Kamayu, and so shows our depth. So you just got to keep guys going. Like I said out there, there's a lot of at-bats and there's a lot of innings this week. So, man, enjoy it. Prepare to play great baseball.
Awesome. Another Sunday, and, you know, another day where you seem to be pretty dominant. I mean, it might not have been, you know, your very best stuff, but you were able to pitch, seemed to have no problem pitching in and out of trouble, and you know, racked up a lot of strikeouts, and I think it was 67% strikes today. So just filling up the zone, that seems to be the key.
Yeah, I like that you said 67%. I didn't know that. That gets me excited. Yeah, I mean, that's been the focus the last few weeks, especially, like getting first pitch strike, getting ahead, and staying ahead. Obviously, when you're ahead, it's easier to get hitters off balance, and so that's been my biggest focus, working through the ball, through the catcher, getting ahead with basically every pitch I have, and putting guys away early was the adjustment from last week to this week. Last week, I got behind in some counts, getting a little too excited to go to the breaking ball. But now, it was a little bit different. I was able to get ahead, stay ahead, and win early, so that was good.
So it was a little bit of a different approach today in terms of like what the pitch mix was and when you were throwing different things?
Yeah, so today it was actually primarily just 2 pitches, fastball, slider, working on the inner half, expanding. I did really good notes this week, trying to figure out the guys, what their hitting tendencies are, where their hands are. A lot of the guys have wrapped barrels. A little baseball jargon, but wrapped barrels later to heaters. So if I'm attacking on the inner half, really establishing that I can use a slider on the outer half or breaking balls on the outer half to kind of freeze them a little bit. So that was the game plan, get on the inner half to these guys and expand with sliders late. For last week, like St. John's, it was attack the outer half and then use the slider as either get ahead or come from behind 3-2, 3-0 count, stay there. So yeah, definitely a different game plan.
So talk to me a little bit more. I'm a nerd about it. So talk to me a little bit more about the game plan and like what you're doing by yourself or how you're working through that with Roger and things like that, and just expand upon that a little bit.
Yeah, baseball nerd too. That's been a really big thing. Like again, the mental preparation is huge for me. So really focusing in on, say, a Friday game, or I'll even start on Thursday. Thursday night, I meet with Coach Allman. He's our baseball development guy, and we'll look at the entire lineup, usually 1 through 9 of the previous week. And I just want to see swings and swing patterns in certain counts. So if guys have a good breaking ball, okay, on the other team, I'm looking for what their kind of swing is looking like on that, just because that's how I usually pitch. So that's Thursday night, take some notes in my journal. Next, I'm put on the hitters chart. So I'm looking, again, this is in person, looking at each guy, lefty, righty, full 1 through 9. And I'm seeing what I personally view as tendencies in certain counts. Having a guy like Patrick on the mound, I don't necessarily have the same stuff as him, right, but I can get away with like kind of seeing where guys are in the box, if they're on the plate, off the plate, wrapped barrels, vert bats. So that's Friday. Saturday is the game chart, so I'm looking at, again, like pitch counts, where guys are being successful, where they're not being successful, and just paying attention to what's going on in the game. And then that night, I'm taking everything that I've done the prior 3 days, putting that in my notebook, and really just reading and going through that. So it's a lot of work, but I mean, for me, the preparation, like I know every pitch that I'm going to throw to these guys. I visualized it before it's even happened. So you get into a big moment with a guy on second and third, 1-2 outs, and I'm executing sliders in those counts just because, I've been there, I've seen the at-bats. So that's what I need personally to get ready. That's why I love starting on Sundays, just because I have that time to prepare. And I like kind of the pressure of, this is the most, in my opinion, most important game of the week. You got to win on Sundays. That's when championships are won. So that's my focus.
Is this something that's new to you doing this year, or have you kind of always prepared in this way?
Completely new. As a reliever, you're not able to really do as much. You're spending a lot of time in the bullpen. And again, my coaches at my previous stops didn't have a lot of faith in me. Whereas here, again, have Coach Williams, who, again, best coach in the business, has ultimate faith in me. So I know I can go out there, no matter if I walk a guy or give up a hit, that he's going to get me back and I'm going to win the next pitch.
As you guys, get ready to head into these last couple games of, non-conference before the conference season goes, kind of give me your assessment of like where you feel you're at and where this team's at, as you get ready for ACC play.
Yeah, I'll start with the team. I'm excited to see younger guys that have only had like 1 or 2 appearances get in the next couple of days, especially before ACC play. We're going to need everyone. So I'm looking forward to just seeing the guys, the youth, get in there and, shove. Personally, keeping what I got going on, keeping the process, making sure the body's healthy, and sticking with what I've been doing, Obviously, if stuff goes awry and I don't have my best stuff, it's just about wiping it off and getting back to it. But, I'm excited. ACC play is what we've been looking forward to, and we're trying to make a run this year, right? So it starts here, and it's, coming up with these next 2 games.
Awesome. Thank you. Another big weekend for the team and a big day for you. The hits just seem to keep coming, and what just seem to be staying locked in really since the start of the year.
Yeah, for me, it's just treating every day like a new day. Just coming to the ballpark, just hoping to help the team out in some way. And I was able to do that today.
When you come up to the plate, kind of in a big spot, team needs a big hit there, and as the game's starting to wind down and you're able to come through with that RBI, are you looking for something specific, or are you just looking for something you can, kind of drive up the middle?
I'm always looking for somebody who can just drive up the middle. I'll take what I'm going to get. I didn't do that early on. I got a little too big on a couple pitches early on. Opportunity to break the game open a little bit with 2 outs, and I wasn't able to get it done. So I was happy the bat found me again in the 7th.
The adjustment from, playing JUCO ball to here. I mean, obviously there's, I think junior college ball can be great baseball, and obviously is where you came from. Was there any adjustment at all for you, or has it been just pretty seamless?
There definitely has been adjustment. I think I went through it a little bit in the fall before I got hurt. But then, after that, just talking to coaches, working, just watching the game, I was able to understand what I need to do when I get back to have some success, and I think it's showing.
Can you talk a little bit about just where you're able to hit in the lineup and like what that does in terms of the protection it gives you, and knowing that everybody else around you is hitting the baseball as well?
Yeah, I honestly think you put me anywhere from 1 to 9, and I think I'll help protect somebody, and somebody will protect me in this lineup. Hitting behind Klein is definitely easy. They have to pitch around him and then pitch to somebody, and hopefully it's me. If they don't pitch to me, they got to pitch to Be Hot today or Tay or whoever is behind me. So, as
you guys get ready, for these last 2, non-conference games before the conference play starts, what's the mood? What's the vibe on this team? And as you guys look to, get ready to start ACC play next week?
The vibes are high. Just continue to roll. We got to clean some things up. I have to clean some things up as a team. We got to clean some things up as we get ready for North Carolina. But I think we're confident going into this weekend and the rest of the ACC play.
Awesome.